Deterrence is a simple concept, the use of military threats to stop an enemy. On paper, it seems that the United States of America has no problem in restraining Iran. America has a military that is spread all over the world, while Iran still relies on ships and fighters that are more than 40 years old, but in practice, Iran has proven surprisingly difficult to deter. It is difficult to destroy armed groups and rebels with airstrikes. Their goals are erosion and survival, not having an organized and decorated government. They are also interested in bearing losses and damages. All-out invasion is the only real way to stop them, and the history of such interventions is useful and instructive. Mr. Biden's warmongering critics think they know the reason for Iran's lack of deterrence. America's threats are not valid because America is unwilling to attack Iran itself. Lindsey Graham, a Republican senator from South Carolina, says the Biden administration can eliminate as many Iranian proxies as it likes, but this will not stop Iran's aggression. By giving a like and subscribing the channel, you are helping an independent analytical media to continue its journey. Leftist critics have a different argument. They see talk of deterrence as misguided warmongering and instead propose a solution they say is simple: an end to the war in Gaza. If Israel stops killing Palestinians, maybe the militias supported by Iran will also stop their violent actions. Both groups ignore one point. It is true that the attack on Iran's navy in 1988 reduced the country's attacks on oil tankers, but today's Iran has a powerful network of proxy forces and, in some cases, the support of both Russia and China. Direct U.S. strikes may further prompt Iran to use its proxies, and perhaps even to pursue the development of a nuclear bomb to ensure itself against future attacks. America's challenge to contain Iran stems from deeper contradictions in America's Middle East policy, particularly its desire to turn its back on the region while simultaneously keeping forces there, a military presence large enough to provide a profile of objectives, but too small to really limit Iran. We saw that even Donald Trump, who was the symbol of Richard Nixon's madman theory of foreign policy, refused to attack Iran directly. Also, America's allies in the region do not believe so. 10 years ago, Israel and some Arab countries of the Persian Gulf might have been happy about U.S. attacks against Iranian proxies. But today, those wars have largely been settled in favor of Iran's allies. Iran and the 4 Arab countries have a very close and deep alliance, and a few scattered attacks cannot paralyze them. This is why both Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates have tried to improve their relations with Iran. When America cannot protect its allies, they come to the idea that diplomacy and economic incentives are a safer alternative. American officials, in a press conference after the recent attacks in Syria and Iraq, did not mention deterrence and only spoke of trying to weaken the ability of Iranian-backed groups. This might be a more realistic goal. If the U.S. fires enough anti-ship missiles at the Houthis, they should be stopped, at least until Iran can supply them with more missiles. But achieving this goal requires a long campaign that Biden may want to avoid, the reason for which comes back to the same main issue. In the Middle East, America is torn between going and staying, and cannot decide what to do with the forces it still has in the region. The current situation is not working, and the surprising paradox is that it is Iran that has prevented America from changing this situation and deciding to leave.